Can I buy a rental property with no money down? Are you wanting to get some rental properties, but you're a little short on cash? Well, you are definitely smart if you want rental properties. It is definitely a great thing that you should be looking into, but getting one with no money down is gonna be a little bit tricky. But I know how to do it. I'm gonna tell you. Let's go. So let's talk about why you should get rental properties. So the first thing before you decide that you're gonna get rental properties but you're short on cash is why you're getting them. What is your purpose? There's three main reasons why people get rental properties. One is going to be the income. So there's cash flow that comes from a rental property. Obviously the tenant is in there, they're paying the rent and you will get the cash flow. If there's a mortgage on it, you'll get the difference. The second thing that most people want when they are looking for rental properties is they want to get some assets. So of course, real estate is a great asset. It's something that you can have. It's tangible. It usually increases in value. We call that appreciation. And then last but not least is the thought that you can sell those properties and get lump sums of cash. So having rental properties is an amazing thing and it's very smart. Many of you probably already know that 89% of all millionaires were created through real estate. So property, real estate, rentals is a great thing to do, but you need to decide which one of those three goals do you have in mind for your rental property. So let's talk about getting rental properties, the financing, the mortgages. There's two types of mortgages that we're talking about when we are thinking of buying rental properties. Most people think a traditional mortgage. So with a traditional mortgage, when you go to buy an investment property, most lenders, most traditional mortgage companies, mortgage lenders, they want, if you are buying an investment property, for you to put down 20%. Now, this video, of course, is about no money. So we got to kind of think about that. So that's the traditional way that most people tell you. But I told you, I was going to debunk one of the biggest lies that is out there. You do not have to use traditional financing and put down 20% to get investment properties. Let's talk about another option if you start thinking like an investor. So one of the amazing things that you can do if you start thinking like an investor, especially if you do not have a rental property yet, is you can rely on traditional financing, a traditional mortgage, but instead of saying that you're going to use that property for an investment and buy an investment property and put down 20%, if you do not have mortgages already in your name, you can buy your first property and think like an investor and know and buy that property with the intent to make it a rental property. So there's one of two things that you can do. You can buy that rental property and buy a single family home. You can move into that home, get a 97% loan, use a down payment assistance program, basically buy a property for yourself as a primary residence to live in and move into that property. Okay, now there's no limitations on how long you have to live there. You don't want to commit mortgage fraud or anything like that, but you basically can buy a home that you know you're going to turn into a rental property and use traditional financing and get 100% financing. The second thing that you could do is buy a multi-unit. You can buy a 2-unit, a 3-unit, or a 4-unit, and those will still fall under traditional financing where you can finance the property for 100% and then you live in one of the units and then you rent the other units out. That way, the first property that you bought, you didn't put any money down and you already have income coming in. Now, this is not something that I did when I first got started. I was an absolute idiot. Like I said, this is why I ended up in foreclosure and in bankruptcy and back in my parents' basement because I did not know this. So I'm telling you something that's really smart that you can do, and I have students doing this all the time. It's called house hacking. You basically are buying the home using financing that people use for primary residences, but you know that you're going to either turn that property into a rental property or you're going to buy a multi-unit and make those other units a rental property. But here is the smart thing that you should do. Remember, I told you, I was going to tell you the one thing that you needed to do to get rental properties with no money. And here's the real answer. And here's the smartest thing you can do, even smarter than house hacking. You market to people that already have a property and they're losing that property either to foreclosure, to bankruptcy, to divorce, or some other situation where they are not able to keep that property. Either they weren't able to pay the taxes or they weren't able to pay the mortgage. You market to those people and you find them and offer to help. You tell them, I'm gonna buy your house, or offer to help them avoid foreclosure or not to lose that property. You put out ads and those people will literally call you and tell you that they need help. And once you talk to those sellers and you find out what's going on, how much they owe on the mortgage, you literally can flip those properties to seasoned investors like myself and the entire network that we're tied to, and you can start making money off of those properties. You can either keep those properties and partner with investors like me, myself, and the companies that I'm associated with, or you can find private investors to give you the money to cash those mortgage payments up, and then you pay those monies back. So there's tons of ways to get this done, but the easiest and the fastest way to do this that really doesn't require any money from you is to find people that already have a mortgage and they're behind on that mortgage payment and get those people to give you those properties. That's the key to this. If you need more help with it, I'm going to give you a little bit of information on how you can do that and how we can help you with it. But this is the key. I've made tons of videos teaching you guys about wholesaling, about finding people with property problems, how to market to them, what to say to them, where to find them, and how to find them for free. And this is the secret sauce, guys. This is how I was able to make all of this money. This is how I was able to create wealth of over millions of dollars in a short amount of time, and how I have students doing the exact same thing even faster than I did. So once you have found those people with property problems, again, you're gonna need a little bit of money, but I didn't say it had to be your money, and we are talking about no money down, okay? So the key to this is, one, either being tied to an investor or a network of investors. And again, you have Noelle right here looking for properties, begging you guys to send us properties, telling you how to send us properties. Or you can get your own business funding in your business's name and get properties for just a few $1,000s. I literally have gotten properties for just a few $1,000s. I've had people that had a mortgage. Their mortgage payment is $1,500. They're behind by 3 months. Usually they're gonna get a letter of default after being 3 months past due on that payment. They're gonna get a letter of default that says they gotta pay like, maybe $5,000, $5,200 to catch that mortgage payment up, or the property is going to go into default. I'm able to market to those people. They literally call me up when they get those notices of default, and I'm able to get those properties for just the money that they are past due, okay? This helps me. I get properties that I can make money off. They can start cash flowing. I can sell them and make a lot of money. And the person is helped because I will pay that past due amount. I will start making those mortgage payments on time. They avoid foreclosure and they fix their credit all in one step. It is amazing service to offer to people. It's what I do. I help people and I make a lot of money in the process, and you can too. So you can either send those properties directly to us. We have a company called 𝗏𝗏𝗡.com that you can look into and send us properties, and we will pay you for those properties. Or you can get your own business credit and own business funding. And I have tons of videos where I teach you how to do that for free. So if you want to learn more and you feel like you need a little bit more training, I've created an entire training that is completely free at noellsfreetraining.com. It's an entire training that I created just for you. It'll teach you how to find these people, what to say to them, where you should be looking, how to find the deals for no money. I teach you everything in that free training, and you can go there and get that absolutely free. Why? Because I want you to be successful. This is Noelle, to your success.